Welcome. In front of me is a OnePlus Nord 2T, and today I will go over unboxing along with a quick overview of this phone. So just jump straight up and open it up. So in here we get the, I believe, case right at the front along with paperwork. There we go. I'm not really going to go into the paperwork. No one cares about that. We get a nice case right here. Then we get the phone itself. Below that we get a hefty charger of okay, so this is a 80-watt charger. Now it took me a bit to actually see it, but it's like right here in the smallest font possible, and also greatest color choice. Instead of, like, I don't know, picking something a little bit more visible, they just select gray on white. Now in here we get a Type C to Type A charger or charging cable, and that's about all we get in the box. So just pop this out. There we go. So I have to say I kind of like the finish on the back. It's well, basically black, but it's like a matte. Not sure if you can kind of. I'm gonna place it next to the microphone. So it's kind of like nice to touch finish, I have to say. Now at the front we have a flat screen, as in it's not curved or anything. It's a 6.43-inch display. I'd say AMOLED with a 90 Hz refresh rate, only 90 Hz I would say. It's a little bit disappointing. It has HDR10 Plus certification, as you would expect from an AMOLED display. And it comes with an 85.7 screen to body ratio and 409 pixels per inch. So honestly, this is kind of like a mid-range display, which actually begs the question, what price is this phone at? It's at $400. Okay, so honestly, last phone I reviewed from OnePlus, I don't remember which one was it. It was one of their flagships still, but I heard this, which I kind of also used in the video, this quote where OnePlus used to have the motto "never settle," but they did settle. Yeah, it looks like this is still the case here. Even if I don't like it, it still looks to be the same stupid choices. So the reason why I'm kind of crapping on it is OnePlus came to like popularity because they used to produce really good phones at a, well, discounted price basically. So they would sacrifice on build quality or some other features that we might not really care, to give us a really good phone. Here, for $400, we're getting not even a Snapdragon, we're getting a Dimensity 1300, not 120 Hz refresh rate, but only 90. So yeah, it's honestly kind of baffling how they went from being like at the top to basically producing kind of, well, something that people probably aren't really looking for. This isn't necessarily the most powerful flagship killer at the price that you'd expect it to come, or probably like $600 would be the price that you'd expect a flagship killer from them. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen anytime again from OnePlus. So anyway, let's just finish up this this overview right here. So let's move over to the cameras, which we have like this two circles. Technically, there's a couple cameras in here. You can kind of see we have flash, camera, and camera. So the main one at the top is a 50 megapixel wide sensor. Then we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and again another thing that adds to the cost, but it's questionable, is the 2 megapixel depth sensor. Why the F is it here? Why would one of us care about it? For the most part, depth sensor doesn't really give you anything useful. In most of the circumstances when you use it, for instance in portrait modes, it completely Fs up the photo by having too little of a pixel count to define what, for instance, is a piece of hair or like bunch of hair on your head and what is a background, creating just a massive weird blur around you, which is disgusting. And yeah, so 2 megapixel depth, questionable at the very best, just completely retarded at any other case. Like, why is it here? It literally defeats the purpose of this, as OnePlus motto would have, or their previously established marketing, which was good phone at a budget price with removed everything that isn't necessary. 2 megapixel depth sensor isn't necessary. So yeah, they completely changed just how they produce the phone. So they went from, I guess, cheap quality, good performance to cheap performance, good quality. And at this point, they're basically like every other company. So anyway, now that I got this rant out of me, let's move over to the internals. So we have a couple versions of this. We have 128 gigs storage with 8 gigs of RAM, or 256 with 12 gigs of RAM. And most likely we don't have an expandable SIM tray, because that's, again, that would be stupid as a phone that is designed to give you versatility, right? Yeah. So here we have the cheap internals. So yeah, whatever you will need, for instance, like 128 gigs or 256, you need to pick between one of them. You don't have any kind of expandability in here. At a $400 price range, this is absolutely stupid. It's baffling. So yeah, a little bit of a problem here. And the reason why I'm kind of saying a little bit of a problem is if you pick, I believe, any phone at this price range of 400, all of them have about a dual SIM tray and a SD tray. And if they don't have a dual SIM tray, it doubles as one. So SD tray can be used as a SIM tray as well. So you can pick to have one card and one SD card, or two SIM cards and no SD card. Here we just get two SIM cards and if you want to pop in an SD card, just get our more expensive version of it with 256 gigs. And if 256 gigs isn't enough, well, too bad. Although, to be honest, if you're buying a phone at $400, chances are you won't be storing that much data on it, I would think. So anyway, let's move over to the rest of the actual device. So with the storages that we have built in here, they come with actually a decent storage type, so UFS 3.1. So this is going to be a blazing fast. I guess that is not a cheap internal, what I called it before. This is actually a really good storage. Now this will help you, for instance, read and write data on this phone storage really quickly, basically almost the fastest out of any phone out there. Probably rivaled only by like Apple's iPhones with their NVMe storage type. So really good storage type right here. Now we're running Android 12 on here with an Oxygen OS 12.1. If I can actually bring it down. There we go. So let's go to About Device. You can see it right here. So OnePlus, 12 gigs of RAM. Now they do have this interesting kind of logic right here where you can convert some of the storage to RAM. Now it won't be basically as fast as you have it on, well, as a straight up RAM, but if you need more than 12 gigs, this will allow you to utilize it a little bit. Now it does take that 3 gigs of storage if you want to, and holy crap, you can actually buff it up to 7 gigs. That is insane, actually. So you can technically get 19 gigs of RAM. This is more than people have in their computers. It defeats the purpose of it. I don't think phones can even reach that. I don't think phones can really utilize 12 gigs, but yeah, you have it right here. If you need it, you can have virtually 19 gigs of RAM. Now moving on, we have a fingerprint sensor which is under the display, and we have a little bit of a switch right here if anybody likes these still. I personally do, with a really nice haptic feedback overlay on the device. We don't have a headphone jack, as you can see, so there is no headphone jack anywhere. Yeah, that's basically about all you get. Additionally, you get a fairly smaller battery size for the size of the device. So this is a 4,500 milliamp hour battery, which I think more commonly for this display size, you would see something like 5,000. But you get a really good charger with it, so at least that's good. But yeah, anyway, to finish this off right now, I'm a little bit conflicted on this device, to be honest, to recommend it or not, because some parts of it are really good, like the storage type, as an example. The storage size is a little bit kind of wonky to me, that they didn't allow you to have a SD card, which I don't like at all, especially at this price range. Then we have a AMOLED display, which is good, but then only at 90 Hz refresh rate, right? Dimensity 1300 processor should be fairly good here. Obviously, it's not going to rival with things like Snapdragon 8, as an example. This is a flagship Snapdragon. I believe Dimensity 1300 is the flagship processor from them, but I might be wrong. But from a couple phones that I've tested over the time, in terms of just the typical use, it seems to be working really well without any kind of problem. What I haven't ever tested it with would be gaming, but I'm pretty sure if you're looking for gaming, you already checked out how games already run on this, so you most likely have a fairly good idea on that. But for the typical user, I don't think you're gonna feel much of a difference between, for instance, the 1300 and, for instance, like a Snapdragon 8. And like I said, typical uses. So probably if you're going for something more demanding, you might see a difference, but for a casual user that browses the web, checks emails, watches TikTok or YouTube, I don't think you're gonna see anything here different. So anyway, to finish this off, it's really hard to kind of like give an opinion on this device, to be honest, because it just is all over the place. So I think this will really depend on what your needs are, to be honest. So if you need really fast storage type, but you don't really care for much of it, I guess that phone would be really good. At this price range, I don't think there is, for instance, any phone that has a UFS 3.1 storage type. So that will help you with, for instance, like 4K footages. Can this phone even do 4K? Yep, it can, but only at 30 frames. But still, you can capture it. That will take significantly more space, as you are most likely aware, at 4K. So reading and writing this kind of footage on the storage here will be done significantly faster than most likely on any other $400 device. So yeah, honestly, like I said, this will really depend on what your needs are. So I won't really say if I'm not going to be saying if I recommend this device or not, just because it will really vary on your needs. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. And if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.